I mentioned in an earlier installment that I had found a document that I had written at the time that I quit playing the harpsichord. And, I still haven't opened it. I saw what it was. I had forgotten that I ever wrote it, but I still haven't read it. I am presently engaged in a change of attitude concerning my career and have written the following in an attempt to both clarify my position for myself and communicate it to my family and friends to help them understand my professional status. Last spring at Stanford was a difficult period for me, which ended with the lack of the automatic renewal of my 5-year term. Now I am teaching under a, quote, continuing appointment, unquote, which means that I can be terminated whenever it is felt that either my work is no longer satisfactory or that the department no longer has a need for me. Although this condition made me fearful of my position, I returned from my summer in Bali rejuvenated with the idea that I would not worry about my Stanford position, but excel in my work and contributions to the department, thereby making my continued presence desirable. Concurrent with my teaching at Stanford, my career as a harpsichordist has been steadily declining over the past 10 years, at least as far as the early music world is concerned. I am not taken seriously by people in the field, largely because of my training, which comes through the lineage of Wanda Landowska via Putnam Aldridge, rather than the now popular Amsterdam school led by Gustav Leonhardt. This is combined with my lack of a PhD and my unwillingness to strive to become a member of a society for which I have little respect. What is at the heart of this dichotomy between my approach to the performance of Baroque music and that of the present early music establishment? The present and recent trend in playing this music has become increasingly involved in research, but to many, justification and explanation seem to be enough to sell a performance, and the actual playing becomes secondary. Anyone suspected of doing otherwise is condemned. I have continually felt that although one must know the treatises and be knowledgeable of historic performance practice, I, as a performer, wish to use this knowledge as a tool to further the musical art of performance. Although both of these factions have done their scholastic homework, it is now an issue of study versus projection, proof of the accuracy of your approach opposed to performing music. And it is as a performer that I have spent my entire life. I have always been an innovator. I created my harpsichord career in the mid-60s, at which time I was the only harpsichordist in San Francisco. I worked very hard to develop my career with great success. My name was synonymous with the word harpsichord. I was regularly part of Herb Cain's column, with pictures appearing regularly in the local papers whenever I performed. I frequently played several concerts a month and had a large following, many of my concerts being sold out. I began my career in a solitary position, and now an elaborate structure of early music performance has sprouted all around me, leaving no place for my innovations in this context. Now there are more and more harpsichordists playing many concerts in modest situations for very little money. The present fashion of performance is quite intolerant of my performance style, and I am neither respected nor sought after. I am seldom asked to perform and have never been invited to take part in an early music workshop or seminar. For example, when the birthday of Domenico Scarlatti was recently celebrated in a marathon harpsichord recital at the De Young Museum, I was not one of the 7 local harpsichordists invited to perform. Because of being ostracized from the early music world, I attract less and less students, and few brilliant ones, for it is wiser for their future careers to have studied with a more fashionable instructor. I still returned to work this fall with the desire to continue to be an asset to the department. Shortly after the quarter began, I was informed that the department would now be hiring a part-time PhD harpsichordist, something I was told I should not consider a threat to my position. I had decided that there were two things that I must do to preserve and reestablish my harpsichord career. One, make a recording. Two, bring out a book of my harpsichord exercises. I don't know whatever happened to that idea. It would have been a good one. I have some excellent exercises. These two areas would hopefully help to make me visible and prove my worth to Stanford. Now I realize that the cost of the undertaking of the record makes it almost prohibitive and a questionable business venture at this point. Will I get what I need, coverage and visibility, from the investment? This is not at all insured. Now, after forcing myself to confront my situation, I realize that the central questions are: do I really want this non-gratifying, non-supportive career anyway? Do I really want to try to fit and be included into what I consider a tight, closed profession? If I continue trying to do this on the terms of the existing structures, i.e. Stanford and the international early music field, will I be constantly frustrated? Where will I wind up, and what do I want to do there? I think not, even if I were successful. This is not the time in my life or career as a Baroque harpsichordist to spend energy proving my worth. I feel that it is unfruitful to clutch onto a fading career in early music, which shows little concrete promise or security and gives me little pleasure. My artistic activities have been becoming more involved in composition and the visual arts. I have decided to embark on a new career, one which will give me a more comfortable income. That's been questionable. Challenge my many interests and talents, and provide me with opportunities to do what I wish with music and media. I plan to direct my energies into a marketable synchronization of visual art and music, using both video and the new compact disc technologies. This does not mean that I am giving up the performance of Baroque music, or that I want to jeopardize my position at Stanford. But in this period of uncertainty I feel that it is a mistake to sit waiting to see what they are going to do with me, that I must take the power of decision for my own life. Teaching has always given me much pleasure, and I continue to accept the entailing responsibility enthusiastically. It does mean, however, that I am no longer concerned with being accepted by the institutions of early music. That wasn't painful. I don't know why I didn't want to look at it. Things have changed a lot, though. And now you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to make a record anymore. You can put your performances up on YouTube.